Okay, VC, here we have a Marantz 6300. There's a problem with the up-down switching. So as you can see, turn it on, platter spins fine, holds constant speed. The issue is when the tone arm gets to the end of the record, it should pop and stop. Now it worked that time. The problem is it's not consistent. Sometimes you hit the up, it doesn't work. Sometimes it does. Now what I'm going to do is replace the switches that actually cause this to happen, and I'll show you that next. Okay, the first step was to take off the dust cover. Next, you want to take apart your head shell, just to be safe, and set that to the side. Next, we're going to flip it over and undo the bottom casework so we can get to the electronics. Actually, skip that. First step is to take off the platter, and I will do that next. Okay, I got the turntable upside down, and what I like to use is 2x4s and wrap them in a soft cloth so you don't scratch the finish, obviously, and prop it up. And the next step is to take off this plastic piece. There's several screws, and then you'll be able to see the electronics, and we will go forward. Okay, the cover is off. As you can see, all the electronics are exposed. Now, the on-off button issues are with these switches right here. There's one hidden under the foot, which I have to take off to get to. And the problem is, like before, when you hit the up button, this switch triggers and it should trace back, and it sends voltage to this to pop the needle. The problem is once the switches get faulty, they don't send the correct voltage, and it will do a half stop. It won't pull it all the way. Hence, not letting the platter stop, and you have weird behavior. So what we're going to do is replace this switch. Hopefully we'll send the correct voltage here that will pop and stop the mechanics. So first I'm going to have to undo this foot to get to the bad switch. Okay, here's the culprit. And I bought replacement switches, which are actually a different part number, but they spec out to be the same thing. The leads are just in a little bit of a different place, and I'll show you that. So, the faulty one, as you can see, is still wired in. Part number LV-3H-1A-S. The new switches are VX51A3. Now, the same company makes the switch. They just upgraded over the years. As you can see, the new one has a lead off the bottom. The old one does not. Basically, everything else is the same. Now I will go ahead and unsolder the faulty switch and solder in the new one. Okay, now you can see I have the foot off and I have the part off of the mount point. And you can see that the leads are located a little differently. Now take note, the top lead is NO, middle one COM, bottom one, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, says NC. Now, if you look on the other side of the new switch, it has the markings. So match up the colors to what they are, and they are in a different spot. The common on the old one is in the middle, and the common on the new one is in the bottom. So that's going to have to be soldered at those points. Now, time to disconnect the old part and wire in the new one. So everything is soldered and put back in place. As you can see, the common now is the blue up here, which is on the side on these old switches. Now, I have it plugged in. as you can see, the platter's off. And the button on the left is the up button or stop button. That was the one giving us an issue. So now we're going to test it. So this is down. As you can see, it engaged it. The motor's running. Now when I hit the up button, which is this switch, it'll travel and cause this mechanism to pop. Perfect. Down, platter spinning, stop button, auto return off. Now, the same mechanism is connected to this sensor. When the tone arm goes and completes one side of the record, this silver stopper goes through this photo sensor, sends the signal back to this mechanism, pops it, and stops it. So that switch is working okay. Every time you will go in and put the breaker there for the photo sensor, it would send the signal up to this switch and then cause this mechanism to pop up. So the culprit the whole time was this switch, and now it seems to be working beautifully. Pops with authority. So, time to reassemble. Okay, here we are with everything back together. Let's do one more test. Power's on. Down. Starts the turntable. That little ledge goes down, the needle will drop. And now test the up. Perfect. Triggers the platter to stop. Moves the ledge up to lift the stylus off the record. Job complete. I'll leave a description down below with links to the parts. Here's the old part number switch and the new ones and the company where I bought them. They were fairly cheap. They were like $2 a piece. So that's it. Any questions, comments, leave them below. And don't forget to subscribe. This is the first of many videos showing up.